Kirby Dead Island Land Blood. Gah. Do I really have to review this? This pasta has been in the radar since the very first day I started this show. Legend says it may not be You Must Die.exe, but it is close, and oh boy is that true. Let's get shitting. It starts at a good start when the guy pulls the game out of his ass from his childhood. It was Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Trademark. No, seriously, look. He hit start and started playing. What was odd is that Kirby was not in the intro animation. Looks like Kirby was a bit late there. Or maybe he's trying to avoid being in this pasta. So Kirby wasn't even in the title screen. He doesn't seem to like showing his face much. But again, I don't blame him. So the enemies in Cookie Country looked sad and they cried tears when they died, as opposed to crying liquid oxygen, I guess. It got only worse from here, he writes. Well, if the only thing that happened so far is crying, it would really be annoying if there was only crying. So yeah, I am expecting worse shit to happen. So the enemies looked even sadder and they had scars that bled realistic blood. Almost went to hyper territory there. So after he did something with the boss, he climbed down the ladder and then he began to scream. What? Apparently there's a fucking tree with red eyes that bled from his mouth and eyes while having some of its branches chopped off. Was that really something to scream about? I mean, if something has blood pouring out of its eyes, doesn't mean you should automatically scream with terror. Okay, moving on. So then there was a text box, isn't there always, that stated, "You did this to me, we finish here." Okay, tree. So the cute little pink marshmallow made a scary face. Wait, Kirby is a marshmallow? Interesting choice of material. Okay, so he does some fire shit and then the tree burns down as all trees do, and then enemies fell down with blood all over them. Okay, Monty, you're a plant. Are you hiding bloody enemies in you somewhere? No? Alright. Okay, so when the tree burned to ashes, it started bleeding, and then Kirby did a little dance with no music playing. Awkward. So all the bosses have these kind of shitty things going on with them. The worst of all was Landia. Its eyes were black and blood poured out of them and it was covered in blood. How is that the worst? The tree was much worse than that. Kirby, I shall not let you. Well, who the fuck said that? Oh wait, I guess the author forgot to mention that a text box appeared. So I assumed the boss said that. And he must have had trouble with English because the sentence was horrible. So as he wondered, what the fuck does that even mean, as I did, there was a roar heard. Nope, it's not just a roar. It was roar. Not to be confused. So that commenced the second phase of the battle, which just killed the boss, which is stupid. And it left a whole bunch of organs and blood everywhere. I'm starting to see a pattern here. I'm gonna give you a clue. It involves a liquid that transports oxygen and such materials to other parts of the body. It was considered to only exist in animals, but now that I read this, I know that they appear in trees too. So the next level started and it was called Moisnemid Died. Holy shit, it's Dracula spelled backwards. Actually, it's Dead Dimension backwards, as the writer made painfully sure you figure out in the next sentence. I guess you have to be that stupid to like this kind of shit. So the Magolor's soul appeared even though the difficulty was set on normal. I don't care. Oh, and his appearance was horrific. His eyes were widened with black eyes that had a red pupil. So it's Sonic.exe if he picked up the toothpicks item. But at least the pasta one-ups that one because it knows that it's called a pupil and not a dot. So its wings were ripped off, leaving a red mist. And instead of his normal roar, loud, blood-curdling screams. Instead of grammar, shitty writing skills. And then the music was very low and sped up. As soon as he hit him, it played the death animation. One hit hack, I'm guessing. Then there was the creepy unused Magolor death sound played. Just look that one up. They sound awesome. Then loud static played for a few minutes. So in the meantime, he made a fucking sandwich. Okay, so I'm guessing after an hour of static and a nice ham sandwich, Kirby showed up with an eerie grin on his face, with blood and fang-like teeth. You imagine how uncomfortable it would be if you had teeth like that? It would stab your gums every time you close your mouth. Ugh. And he had the arms of Waddle Dee attached to him, as well as the legs of King Dedede and the wings from that knight guy. What is he, Frankenstein? This monster? And then there was a distorted laugh and a text saying, "You're next." Pretty sure there's a joke somewhere there, but I don't care. So then his parents rudely interrupt the pasta, and then the guy goes up to them and starts crying. So he never played anything related to Dreamland ever again, and that's it. The "You're next" message was completely pointless. Then again, this whole thing is pointless. So that was Deadland, the most shit I've ever read besides You Must Die.exe. And that gives me an idea. Here's a challenge for you. Find a pasta that is even worse than You Must Die.exe. This is kind of hard though, because the trick is, it must not be a troll pasta. You have to pay attention to the tags. You must not actually write it for me. If all rules are applied, I will most definitely review it, cause I love making fun of these.